Hello, my name is Chris Foreman. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Marketplace.city. We're a platform that helps local governments find, validate, and procure great technology. We've started a COVID-19 readiness and response campaign as we work to serve our cities and to help them find solutions to a number of challenges that they have over the last couple of weeks. A lot of those challenges have come up in relation to the COVID-19 pandemic. So we started sourcing different solutions, and we're joined here by Michael Major from Colu, who's here today, and he'll jump in just a second when we run back over to him, but you might see him on the screen. But what we've done is we started sourcing solutions that are have a quick deployment, flexible opt-in, opt-out packages related to onboarding with those solutions, and then certainly have some sort of a free or possibly discounted onboarding right now to support cities that are facing COVID-19. So our objective today is to spend a few minutes just identifying what the solution is, identifying any sort of existing case studies or results that come along with that solution, and so we can see some real world examples of that solution in play, and then identify sort of next steps, like how do you actually onboard with this solution. And if you are a company out there that has something to help cities respond to COVID-19, you can publish that onto Marketplace.city using the promo code COVID-19, all caps, no spaces, and that'll get you a product page on Marketplace.city for 1 year for one product page. So moving on, why is Marketplace.city doing this? So as I mentioned, we source solutions for our cities. So what we do is we find out, what sort of answers are you seeking from the market on different challenges that you're facing. We identify what other cities have done. We identify the results from the deployment of technology within those cities, and then we identify the sort of contract pricing, purchasing models that those cities use to onboard those suppliers. And then we give you those results back in what we call a clear box to help you make more informed decisions, lower the risk of your technology investments, and then move faster through the procurement process. So as I mentioned today, we have Michael Major, who's the VP of Business Development with Colu. And Michael, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. So welcome aboard. I'm going to make you the presenter, and then you can share your screen and take it away. Tell us a little bit about Colu. Well, actually, as you're doing that, I want to say, I've really been excited about Colu because a big part of COVID-19 is going to be how cities bounce back and how they encourage local economy and helping out the small businesses around the world. And Colu has a solution for that, for creating a rewards model, rewards platform for helping local economies, helping small business. So I think this is a very sort of hands-on, quick deployment type of solution that can help local economies in the cities that we're working with. So with that, I'll give it to you, Michael.
Great. Thanks, Chris, and thanks for having me and us on here. It's obviously awesome to work with you guys and just to see how you're aggregating all the technology for cities. And it's very much needed, I think, especially at these times and obviously beyond. So I'm very happy to be here. Like you were mentioning, we are a GovTech company, and what we do is we work with cities to offer solutions for them to basically incentivize or reward the residents for engaging in actions that are strategically needed within the city. And I'll get a little bit more into that, but just kind of a brief overview. We've been around for the past almost 5 years. We have our main operations are in Israel. We have about 250,000 users and merchants, 38 employees, and our venture capital funded. And what we really offer cities is a white label app, which what it really does is it will reward the residents for engaging in sort of behaviors that the city wants them to engage. For example, shopping at local businesses, communicating with the city, and letting them know what is going on in their lives. Could be volunteering efforts, could be transportation initiatives, anything really that the city wants. The city can reward residents through the app, and the mechanism of rewards comes from a unique city coin, which ultimately you accumulate, very similar to credit card points or airline points. And as you accumulate these city coins, you can then redeem them at local businesses. So we're driving the economy locally and using sort of behavioral economics and gamification to get people to engage in these actions. So I'll kind of briefly go over the app, and then I'll explain specifically about what we're doing regarding COVID-19 and how we're helping cities already um, handle these obviously unprecedented and horrible issues. So just to kind of look at our app, so what it is there, when you open it, you see kind of a discovery section. You can see what's going on in the cities, what local businesses are around, what sort of incentives, what sort of initiatives are going on in the city. It could be an initiative to buy local and buy at local grocery stores or buy at local cafes, and you would get, let's say, cash back for that initiative. Could be like 10% cash back. It could be an initiative to just shop at local businesses where it's like a tiered approach where, let's say, it's shop at 4 local businesses and then get rewarded with 5 coins, so equivalent to $5. Could be a volunteering initiative, really whatever is going on in the community. People want to be engaged, and the Discover page really just shows people what's going on. The urban stories on the left is really just kind of like Instagram style. You really swipe through and kind of see the initiatives quickly, and then you can join one or opt in to participate. Could be a volunteering initiative, like I said, and really countless others. And then my impact really is the section where you see, hey, like, how have I contributed to my city? How have I helped my city and my community um, and local improvement? And for example, how much have I accumulated in my virtual coins, but also how have I impacted local businesses? And people want to see that, and this kind of gets people to continue to go and do these things and shop locally and engage in these local efforts. And what we did now is, obviously, when we saw that kind of this COVID-19 pandemic was really getting worse and really starting to affect us all, is we had to reshift our focus to understand how we can help cities during these times. We had cities approach us and say, hey, we need help quickly. So we spent a lot of time doing due diligence, market research, analyses of the situations, and understanding what can we do to help cities quickly. The main 4 things we saw that cities need help with right now are: number one, saving small businesses. Obviously, this is a bottom-up approach, and businesses are affected in an unprecedented fashion. So we have the capabilities really to help save the small businesses. 2 is cities wanted also to understand how they can communicate reliably with their residents. And for example, right now cities use Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, their website to disseminate information. But honestly, they don't really know who's reading the information, how it's being digested, and how are people really taking action on it. So what we do in the app now is we can basically, if the city wants to put up a notice or send a note to the residents, they can do that on the app. If a resident reads it, they would confirm that they read it, and then they could get rewarded a nominal amount for doing so. And that kind of psychologically gets people to be more engaged and to feel more obligated to do these things. Same thing can go with like reporting that you don't have a fever, reporting that you don't have symptoms. These are all things cities wanted. On top of that, things like volunteering. Right now, we see a lot of like grassroots approaches to volunteering, Google Docs and everything. And what we can do is we can really encourage people to volunteer in municipalities and get rewarded from it with city coins. And the last thing that cities really wanted was like distribution of funds. So as cities may get some funding towards the residents, what we can do is we can also have the city allocated to the residents in their local coin through our app. And that way the city knows that they're going to be using it not to shop on the big box retailers, but rather at local businesses. So that kind of will ensure that they can also keep that money local and keep it spent locally. And we are already doing this. So as part of our operations in Tel Aviv, we started already mid-March to implement these solutions. In Israel, actually, things kind of deteriorated a few weeks before they had started deteriorating here in the United States. So we really kind of, unfortunately, I guess, got a head start, though, in how we can react to it. And what we did is we started a campaign again to encourage residents to shop locally. It has already been a great success, and the businesses that are part of the platform are saying that 30% of purchases right now are coming from people with the Colu app. So we obviously see that impact already. Another thing we also did now is some businesses that had never delivered before are now delivering, for example, and people wanted to know what's going on in their city at these crazy times. So we also added a whole function where people could not only see what businesses are delivering, but also get rewarded for shopping at those local businesses that are now open for delivery. Another very important thing that we also started in Tel Aviv was we call it the gift card challenge, and that's really saying, hey, we could people could prepay for businesses that are right now closed and give them some much needed cash flow, and then they would get this credit through the app to shop at these stores. So really this helps, and we also are rewarding them for doing so with cash back. So really trying to encourage people to help local businesses now. Another thing we've been doing is helping with the senior citizens in their volunteering effort. So really rewarding people for volunteering in senior citizens' home. And the last thing is rewarding people for like watching a YouTube clip about best practices and how to engage in health related or washing their hands and that type of behavior. And if you watch the whole clip, which is about 1 minute to 2 minutes, you then get rewarded for watching it. So we're trying to kind of look at all different directions and see how we can really positively impact people at these times and help cities. And the numbers, I think, really do speak for themselves. I mean, within the first 2 weeks, 4,000 residents joined the Shop Local initiative. We had already money that is being donated to nonprofits through the app. So we are seeing that it makes an impact. We are seeing now that both the people with a higher socioeconomic status and lower socioeconomic status are all trying to see how they can help. People obviously are now struggling with money, and this also helps them because they know they get rewarded and they're shopping local. So I think people more than ever have that community sense, and we kind of see that it really can start making an impact immediately. Additional examples, really, just like I was mentioning, you can kind of prepare your quarantine kit. You can have local quarantine kits and reward residents for shopping at local businesses to get these kits. You can have rewards for people just letting the city know that they, let's say, don't have any symptoms, or that they do have symptoms for coronavirus, and that kind of gives the city immediate data as to what's going on, and then the city can reward residents for it. And in terms of like how it works from the customer journeys perspective, it is very simple. You download the app once, you add your information, you add your credit card number one time, and then you can really start purchasing. The whole cool thing about it is really anytime you make a purchase with the credit card that you added, you already start accumulating the coins. You don't have to do anything beyond just making a purchase with your original credit card of choice. Only once you redeem the points, then you use the app, and then you can go into your store. Let's say you accumulated 10 city coins, you go to the store, you buy a sandwich and a coffee that costs $9.68. So you put in the app, right, $9.68. Redeem, the business owner would get a push notification, and very easily that transaction is done. So again, it's a very simple process, and it really kind of is easy to use for all parts of the population. And we see that also in Israel and in the users. There's really a diverse array of users from younger to older. And one other thing we really just learned because of the situation is that we really had to develop a quick process. So cities were telling us like, hey, this is awesome, but we don't have time and we don't have the staff and the bandwidth to handle all this. So we had to internally come up with processes to make sure we can do this quickly and really launch a program within 4 to 6 weeks. We came up with a 6-step approach, which really initially just starts with working with the city to develop the strategy, figure out like, what are the first initiatives that we want to tackle? Is it shopping at local businesses? Is it shopping at specific low income communities? Female-owned businesses? It really could be whatever. We pick that type of initiative. We can pick also another one about like reporting or communications. And then we internally will create the app, create all the processes, put in all the colors and all that. We would then onboard all the local businesses, bring them kind of to the front end of everything. We'd quickly launch the app, and then it would be ready for the residents to download. So it's a very quick process. And I think, you know, one of the main things we learned is that cities, again, don't have the bandwidth right now to handle this. So we've also internally started allocating much more of our overhead towards helping cities start the program and really walking them much more than we used to in the past, just because we know the situation and we know the challenges, and we really are committed to helping cities right now at these difficult times. I'll go just a little bit about how the process works, and just as I wrap up, again, very simply, there's the city that has a relevant initiative that it wants to reward residents for engaging in. We're again using the behavioral economics approach, the gamification of it. We're making it seem to the residents that they are making progress, and this is what we want them to feel like. They want them to feel like they're part of something for their city, and we want them to feel rewarded for engaging in those types of behaviors. For the residents, obviously, it's a wonderful opportunity to be part of the community. We know that right now with technology, It's something that's needed more than ever, and we know that the younger generations are just looking for this. And the more technological we get, the less tangible we get. So this is a great way to connect both of them. And then for the businesses, of course, we want to encourage local business shopping. We know that there are alternatives, and now more than ever, it's critical to get people to shop local and to engage in behaviors that are positively impacting the local community. So that's kind of pretty much it. Obviously, on our end, there's a lot of ways to sponsor the reward budgets. The reward budget can come from a city's reward budget. It could also come from sponsors and foundations and other entities that want to participate. So we really can make this an approach that really involves all ecosystems that want to help the city. So it could be, anything that we think of that really want to help. The city gets an awesome dashboard that they could use and really get a lot of information and data from the program too. And that's obviously helps us optimize it and make sure that the program continues to improve itself as we go. So we can say, hey, a lot of people are shopping in neighborhood A that live in neighborhood C. So we can say, wait, how are they getting from neighborhood C to neighborhood A? And then we can also find ways to incentivize transportation. So maybe they could use public transportation instead of their own car. There's really endless opportunities, and that's, I think, why the dashboard is great. So yeah, that's pretty much it on our end.
Yeah, so Michael, I think it's really a good point you made, that it doesn't require the cities or city government to put money into the programs, that like a foundation or a nonprofit or like a chamber of commerce or a business improvement district that have their own funds, that either through fundraising or because they're a taxing body, they can also put sort of sponsored programs into the app as well, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the cool thing, that we can have different initiatives kind of going on simultaneously, and they can be funded by really countless different entities. And we have seen a lot of business improvement districts and foundations that want to be part of it. So it doesn't require the city to do it. And it could be that the city only wants to fund one initiative, let's say, per few months. So that's fine too.
Yeah, and what I think is also really sort of unique is that there is an option to give kind of bonus and incentives to spending money. So if like you spend money at a certain business, maybe the city or the promotion will be like, maybe you get an extra 30% or something on top of whatever you spent, like back or something. But there are also a lot of programs that don't require you to spend money to get the coin, right? Where if you're performing some sort of health task, or like you're taking the training, like you said, or if you're exercising, because the sponsorship is about health and wellness, that you can perform some sort of non-financial, non-monetary task, but get financial rewards for that then could go to those businesses, right? So it doesn't require you to spend money in order to make money, is what I'm saying. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the whole, cool thing. We obviously want to encourage people to shop and spend money at their local community. But on the other hand, we also want to make sure that we can reward people for behaviors, right? That's the whole kind of concept of the gamification of things, and for people to feel like they can get rewarded for things that are meeting strategic goals of the municipality.
Great. So thank you so much, Michael, for joining today. And if you want to learn more about Colu, certainly you can go to their website, but you can also find Colu on Marketplace.city. You can find them on our COVID-19 Readiness Kit page, which is linked here. You can find them by navigating directly through the Marketplace.city homepage. You can contact us at hello@marketplace.city, and certainly follow us on our Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube profiles. So thanks again, Michael, for joining. Thanks again for presenting this solution to our users. I think it's hugely impactful, especially to the local economies, to small businesses, and to a lot of cities out there who are concerned with reestablishing their economies after COVID-19 passes. So thanks again. Take care.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks for having me. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.